Hey yo, we here. Steelers officially cut their roster down to 53 players. And we got some other action today. We got a trade that I did not think would be possible, but we have Omar Khan as our general manager. Omar Khan, aka the Con Artist. Omar Khan, aka the Don. Omar Khan, aka the best general manager in the National Football League. Because before the final cuts were just made like 5 minutes ago, the Steelers traded backup center, backup guard, former third round pick in 2020. Yeah, it was 2020, if my memory serves me right. Kendrick Green traded him to the Texans for a 2025 sixth round pick. How did Omar Khan pull this off? I have no clue because, in my opinion, Kendrick Green was not worth the roster spot. I was ready to move on. I think 100% of Steeler Nation was ready to move on. Cut ties if we were to bring him back on the practice squad, whatever. But Kendrick Green did not deserve to make this 53-man roster. But Omar Khan actually got compensation for that man. Not only is he not back with the Steelers, but we got a 6th-round pick in 2025. Like, I just don't think Kendrick Green is a good offensive lineman. It just really comes down to that. You can't trust him out there. I think you're putting your quarterback, your running back, maybe even some of the other offensive linemen at risk of getting hurt with KG playing on the football field. We've seen it too many times. Him getting cooked, him doing like the Matador Ole with the guy that he's going up against, just literally going by untouched to the quarterback. Almost got Mason killed in preseason. I think it was it the Bucks game? Yeah. So yeah, it was time for Kendrick Green to move on. Whether or not it was with the Steelers, it didn't matter. But again, for Omar Khan to pull off that trade, it just goes to show that I don't know if there's a better GM in the league right now. Every move he has made has been a dub. Like, can anyone think of any else that Omar Khan has put up? Because I can't. Now with Kendrick Green, last game had me scared a little bit, and I don't want to rip on him this whole time. You know what I mean? I really don't. I don't want to be bagging on Kendrick Green, but I was a little concerned that we were going to keep him because he went out there with the first team and then switched to center with the second team and played most of the first and second quarter, most of the first half. And to his credit, actually didn't play that bad. So I thought if the Steelers were putting him out there with the first team, and given that we just traded Dotson a couple days ago, which left an offensive line spot open, that we were going to be apt to bring back KG. I thought Tomlin and the Steelers organization had a soft spot for him, being that he was a third-round pick. But yeah, obviously we were ready to move on too. Now, I don't know if we didn't make this trade, if KG would be on the active 53, but this was the right move to make. Now, I do have a conspiracy theory, though. Maybe the Steelers showcased KG in that final game. They put him around other good O linemen, so it was going to be very hard for him to look bad out there. And Omar Khan maybe sent some KG tape out there to the rest of the league and said, hey, look at this guy, former third-round pick. Can get the job done for your team. Just let me know what you're willing to offer. And the Texans were willing to give up a 6th-round pick. Yeah, KG's tenure here with Pittsburgh was not highly decorated. Came in with high hopes. Picked the number 53, Marquise Pouncey's number, the year after Marquise Pouncey retired. It was a bold move. And he started 16 games as a rookie, or 16 games as a rookie at center. And he was the center for Big Ben in Big Ben's final season. Hashtag the sabotage. If you know, you know. But then the following season, just last year, didn't even dress at all. And then for this offseason, we experimented with him at fullback. Knew he was going to be backup on the interior offensive line somehow, some way, whether it was center, guard, whatever. But then, put together 2 pretty bad performances in week 1 and week 2 of preseason, and then did all right in week 3, to his credit. But again, I said whenever I gave my 53-man final roster projections that it was time to move on from the Kendrick Green experience. Just admit that that draft pick was a bust and move on, cut your ties. But Omar Khan was actually able to get compensation for him, which is awesome. Salute to Omar Khan. But enough with the KG trade talk. I'm assuming most of you guys in the chat are giving your stamp of approval on that trade. What are you guys saying, man? What's up? Let me give some shout outs. Let me get some respect to the people that are tuning in right now. Really appreciate it. We got Ohio State fan 4. Says, gonna miss grilling and chilling with the boys. Yeah. Gentry was another big name that was let go. He was one of the ones that was let go early, like a couple hours ago before the final roster cuts just came down like 10 minutes ago. It is what it is. It is what it is. I called it. I'm not too shocked. Not going to lie. I think I had a brief look at the depth chart and all the cuts we just made. I think I kind of called most of these. Not going to lie. Deke knows ball. NSMC99. There he is. What's good, man? I recognize some of these names, man. Richard Hunt's in the house. He said Khan was top-rated GM due to his willingness to work with folks. I did see that. An article just came out saying that Omar Khan is one of like the most respected, if not the most respected GM in the league because he's straightforward and honest, easy to work with. That's integrity right there. This one, this one's a bummer. Braden Fehoko is gone for Watts. Yep. I initially said Fehoko was going to make it, but then after seeing Watts in the final preseason game, kind of flipped my mind and said I could see Watts making it over Braden. Unfortunately, because we just lost an Infinity Stone. Tomlin completed the family Infinity Gauntlet this offseason, and then he just gave up one of the stones. Now he only has 5. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm really bummed about that. Really bummed. Oh, did we lose Kwiatkowski? Jack Holodinsky says, don't like the Kwiatkowski loss. I didn't see that. I got to double check. Well, I'm going to pull up the 16 cuts right now after I scroll through the chat. I didn't see Kwiatkowski. I just assumed he made it since we cut Tanner Muse. I didn't even look that hard at it. Damn. Tyler Minnick's calling J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald. Can we get them both? Can we get them both here? Trade for Aaron Donald after the Rams start going down the tubes. Yeah, you guys are saying Kwiatkowski was cut. I didn't even look for his name. I literally just assumed he was going to make it because of Tanner Muse being released yesterday. All right, let's look at it. I got this new screen share feature. Hopefully I don't botch this up here. There we go. Oh wait, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch up the look. How about that? That's better, right? That's better. So the 16 names that just got cut after Kendrick Green got traded were cornerback Luke Barku and Chris Wilcox. Chris Wilcox is low-key a decent cornerback in Madden Ultimate Team. They gave him 85 speed, which isn't bad early in this portion of the game. If you guys play Madden, you guys know what I'm talking about. Defensive line, Braden Fehoko and Jonathan Marshall. 2 bummers. If you guys heard me on the podcast, you know I've been talking up Jonathan Marshall ever since we signed him. I thought he'd have a chance, but unfortunately not. All the Jet fans were saying he had a lot of potential. He had talent. He was just buried behind that Jets defensive line on the depth chart. And they thought if given the opportunity, he would shine. But we didn't even really give him the opportunity. That's what I'm kind of bummed about. But yeah, Braden Fehoko, that's a big loss for the family Infinity Gauntlet right there. Now we only have 5. I guess we got to bring back Derek Watt. And then to your guys' point, Nick Kwiatkowski let go. David Perales, Quincy Roche. Not surprised about Perales or Roche. Kwiatkowski, I am, because now we only have 4 inside linebackers. My guess is the Steelers are going to be looking to bring back Tanner Muse or Kwiatkowski. Now, Tanner Muse, He was released yesterday. And I think because he hasn't been in the league over the minimum amount of time, I don't know what it is. I think it's like 4 or 5 years. He's subject to waivers. Whereas Kwiatkowski, I don't think he's got to go through waivers at all. So maybe we cut Kwiatkowski. Is there a guy that's banged up on the 53 we put on IR and we bring back Kwiatkowski? Or that could also be Muse if he clears waivers. I'd be shocked if we go into week 1 with only 4 inside linebackers. I'd be shocked. Offensive line, Ryan McCollum. Running back, Greg Bell, Xavier Valladay. Called those 2. Safety, Trenton Thompson. Trey Norwood, I also called those guys. I hope I don't sound too happy like guys are getting cut. Because I'm not. Trenton Thompson was doing some good things in preseason. Trey Norwood frustrates me because he showed a lot of flash in his rookie season. And then we just didn't play him at all in his second year. And then he got hurt this offseason. Really didn't get to see him much in preseason at all. And Elijah Riley just kept making good plays every time he was out there on the field. So that's why we ended up keeping Elijah Riley over Trey Norwood. They basically play the same position, slot corner, safety, that versatile type of role. Tight end, Zach Gentry, Rodney Williams. Yeah, with Gentry, I know a lot of people are a little sad about that because Gentry was a good player for us these last couple of years. Good complement to Muth, good blocking tight end. Definitely valuable, but we drafted his replacement in the 3rd round in Darnell Washington. He could do everything that Zach Gentry can do, if not better. That goes for blocking, and that goes for also being a receiving threat. And that obviously shows the Steelers are comfortable going with Darnell Washington week 1. Like, I thought Gentry's best chance to make the team would be that Darnell just wasn't ready yet from a blocking standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. And Gentry would be out there as Mr. Reliable the first couple months of the season. And then slowly Darnell would get up to speed and we'd have a little bit of a changing of guard maybe around week 7, week 8. But Darnell did look good in preseason, and the Steelers just thought it would be better to rip the Band-Aid sooner rather than later. Because you look at last year, we only kept 3 tight ends. And this year, we're only keeping 3 tight ends. The only difference is we have Darnell Washington in there in place of Zach Gentry. And then the last 2 at wide receiver, Jordan Byrd and Des Fitzpatrick. Not surprised there at all either. They really didn't do much at all for us in preseason. There was a little bit of buzz around Jordan Byrd because he was like this gadget guy, return man coming out of San Diego State, fast, but just didn't work out for him. The moment where he had his chance to shine was preseason game 1. But all I remember him was fair catching a lot of the punts or not really getting many return yards. And then we had Calvin Austin, and yeah, he just ran with the punt return job. It's not even a question. He is going to be doing that, and I think going to be doing that very well when the regular season comes around. Okay, so let me see what some of you guys are saying in the comments, in the chat, and then I'll go from this list and then look at the Steelers' final depth chart and see how it's all situated and whatnot. How are you feeling? Who do you think was snubbed here? Who do you think didn't deserve to make the roster? Is there a chance we sign any of these guys back, like I brought up with Nick Kwiatkowski? Are there any outside free agents that were cut from other teams that you're looking at? Let me know that down in the comments. Joshua Kenny, obviously not a fan of Gunner staying on the roster. He says, why Gunner? Gunner's a good player, man. I think he's QB friendly. He gets open, runs some good routes, but also can play some special teams. Our only knock against him is he came into last season as a free agent pickup, an all-pro return man. I think he was an all-pro for the Patriots in 2019 or 2020. So we were pretty pumped about him. We lost Steven Sims, but replaced Steven. Or no. We didn't lose Steven Sims. I'm sorry. Didn't we lose? Yeah, we lost Ray McLeod. And then we had Gunner. And we were like, we don't need Ray McLeod. He never scored a touchdown for us. Gunner's an all-pro. And then literally Gunner's first 3 or 4 games, he fumbled 2 punts. And we were like, okay, you need to sit down. We'll get Steven Sims in. And he was a much better guy for us last year. as a return man. But still, Gunner played, though. Even though he lost the starting punt return man spot, he still played on special teams. He still played on offense and was reliable, at least in those areas. And if something happens with Calvin Austin, at least Gunner can be our backup as the punt return guy as well. Steel City Insider likes Bradley Roby. I did see that. The Saints cut him earlier. And then also says Desmond King. Desmond King, slot corner. Also played safety. Can also play outside. I didn't know that. He played like 500 snaps with the Texans last year at outside too. It wouldn't be a bad pickup. Either one of those guys. I'd probably prefer Desmond King, but that would involve us probably releasing Elijah Riley. And I wouldn't be against that because Desmond King has been in the league for 6 years and is really productive. Elijah Riley has just been a journeyman practice squad guy. And you're hoping that he could get the same type of productivity that Desmond King could produce on even one of Desmond King's down years. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Steelers are going to make that move. I think they like Elijah Riley. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. A Gibson 36 likes the idea of keeping Elijah Riley, but bringing in Desmond King instead of James Pierre. I said Desmond King could play some outside corner if we need him to. So there's that. It wouldn't be the worst call. It definitely wouldn't. I'm mad, though. You guys know I've been talking about getting Eli Ricks potentially if the Eagles were to cut him. But I just saw a couple minutes ago that he officially made the Eagles 53-man. He played really good in preseason. Him and Nick Herbig were listed as like two of the top rookies for preseason through their grades and whatnot. GB 1974 believes Riley could be a Mike Hilton type. I see what you're saying. A little slow start to their career, flew under the radar, but grinded it out, proved their worth, and carved out a role. I could see what you're saying. Yeah. Although we got Mike Hilton, correct me if I'm wrong, as an undrafted like rookie free agent, whereas Elijah Riley was a couple spots before us, and we put him on practice squad. But then he made an appearance in a couple regular season games, and yeah, he had a good preseason, man. Made good tackles on special teams. His only liability would be in coverage. There's a couple times I see him giving up some passing plays, but he's a good run stopper, not afraid to tackle. I like him as an Arthur Mollett type of guy. We lost Mollett to the Ravens this offseason, but I think Elijah Riley could step in and basically do everything that Mollett could do. Wait, who is this? Hilton was cut by the... Wait, who are you talking about? Hilton cut by the Pats? What Hilton are you talking about? Yeah, Hilton's on the Bengals. I don't know who you're talking about here. Okay, Gibson 36 says, I thought Nick Wachowski earned a spot as special teams and backup inside linebacker. That's what I thought too. If I were to pick out a snub, I would say Kwiatkowski. But now I have to look. I'm going to switch this screen. I'm going to look at the Steelers depth chart and make a pick who I would take out for Kwiatkowski because that's what I'm thinking. Who made it over him? Because I had Kwiatkowski making the squad. We made these trades too with Kendrick Green and Kevin Dotson. I feel like there would have been a spot for him. Yeah, let me do that now, actually. Let's switch this to the Steelers depth chart. Because I think they have this updated right now. Okay, we can see that, right? Yep. So on offense, Deontay, it's 6 receivers. Deontay, Miles Boykin, Pickens, Robinson, Calvin Austin, Gunner. O lineman, Dan Moore, Broderick Jones, Isaac Seumalo, Mason Cole. Oh, wait. Why is Kendrick Green? Ooh, okay, hold on. Here's a little loophole right here. Kendrick Green, I guess, has to be listed on the 53 for that trade to go through. So that might open up a spot for Kwiatkowski or Tanner Muse to come back. So stay tuned. You see that? Kendrick Green is still listed on the Steelers 53-man depth chart. And that makes no sense, given that we just traded him to the Texans for a 6th rounder. Spencer Anderson's there. James Daniel, Nate Herbig, Chooks. Okay, the guy I wasn't accounting for is Dylan Cook as a backup tackle. Did not account for him. That's one guy, though, at least. 3 running backs, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Anthony McFarland, as expected. Tight end, Muth, Connor Hayward, Darnell Washington. We have Connor Hayward also listed as our starting fullback. The 3 quarterbacks, Pickett, Mitch, Mason Rudolph. Defense. Yeah, this is right for the defensive line. I had Cam Hayward, Isaiah Loudermilk, Armon Watts, Montravius Adams, Keanu Benton, Larry Ogunjobi, Marvin Leal. Well, essentially, I predicted that we were going to keep 7. And the last guy was between Armon Watts, Fehoko. Initially, I thought it was going to be Fehoko. And then Armon Watts had a good preseason showing in the 3rd game and played a lot more than Fehoko, too. He was way more in the rotation. So I thought the Steelers might lean Watts. And they obviously did. Edge rushers, 4 guys, TJ Watt, Marcus Golden, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, expected. And yeah, the 4 inside linebackers. I didn't think there was a chance we'd only be keeping 4. But keep an eye out for a Tanner Muse or a Nick Wachowski return after this Kendrick Green trade gets off the books here. And then safeties, Minka Fitzpatrick, DeMonte Casey, Keanu Neal, Miles Killebrew. Killebrew, that's special teams ace for us. Corners, Levi Wallace, Pat P, Joey Porter, James Pierre, 4 outside guys. And then we have 2 slot guys, Shannon Sullivan, Elijah Riley. So that's the guy I didn't account for. Dylan Cook. Did not account for him at all. So I don't think we're just going to randomly cut Dylan Cook. I think he made the team then. So it's going to be between, my bold prediction right now, it's between either Tanner Muse or Nick Wachowski to come back and sign. Unless we have an injury, unless we're going to put someone on the PUP or put someone on the IR that's going to open up a slot. Maybe both of those guys would come back. Yeah, this is the squad, and I'm good with it. This is definitely the squad. Are there any other names out there that we could sign potentially? Because it looks like another name. Wait, what? Man. Oh, I didn't look at special teams. You guys are talking about Braden Mann. Oh, that's another guy. Yep. Okay. So hold on. Both Tanner Muse and Kwiatkowski can come back. Kendrick Green trade goes through, opens up a spot. We trade Braden Mann, opens up a spot. Because Braden Mann didn't do bad this preseason. He had a rough time with the Jets, but he was a Ray Guy Award winner in college, was actually drafted. You obviously have to be talented if you're drafted being a kicker or a punter. Yeah, he just had a tough time with the Jets, but bounced back for us in preseason. He was good competition for Harvin. Harvin's definitely the starter. But yeah, I know some teams around the league could use some punter help. So that's what we're doing. The con artist strikes again. We started the show talking about Omar Khan and how good of a GM he is. And then we just got more evidence as we're about to close the show and keeping Braden Mann so we could trade him and get like a free late round pick for a guy that we were going to cut anyway. There we go. Did we keep Quan Alexander? Steel Curtain 01 asked. Yes, we did. Yeah, we keep Quan Alexander. We definitely did. Did I mention him? Yeah, he was one of the 4 inside linebackers. Quan, Holcomb, Roberts, Robinson. Yeah. Jabril Cox is out there. Any notable names cut for us? Jalen Green asked. Any notable names cut for us? Gentry would be the biggest guy. Gentry and Kwiatkowski, I'd say. But I think Kwiatkowski could come back. I guess Gentry could come back too. I think that might leave the door open for him. Or even like a Trenton Thompson. A couple of those other guys that were on the bubble. I guess I'm really focused on Kwiatkowski and Muse coming back. I think that makes the most sense. But it could be Gentry. It could be, although Gentry's going to have to go through waivers. I wouldn't be surprised if another team picks him up. He's good. He's a good player. Good backup tight end to have. Green is on. City of Champions Pitt says, where are you seeing Green on the depth chart? So check it out. He is right behind Mason Cole. You see that? Second guy. Mason Cole listed as first. Kendrick Green second. I guess we got to just wait for that trade to go through. It should open up a spot. Christian Kirksey. I'd rather just have Muse or Kwiatkowski back at that point. But the thought of hit refresh. He's not there now. Okay. He's not there now anymore. Okay, never mind. so completely write off everything I just talked about. Braden Mann getting traded though, that would open up a spot. Forget everything I said. Maybe the Steelers intern had a little bit of a typo there and made the mistake. He had Kendrick Green listed there these last 2 years and just forgot to take his name off. Maybe that's what happened. Yeah, so disregard. I thought it was a good theory. I thought it was a good theory that, hey, you need to wait for the whole 24-hour cycle or till business closes on the day of or whatever for a transaction to go through. And I guess that wasn't the case. I thought it was a good theory. Disregard everything I said about Kendrick Green, but I think you guys are right about Braden Mann though. Ramo 1010. I'd rather just pick up Lucas Krull over Gentry. He was cooking. Did they cut him? He was cooking in preseason. And that's Kenny Pickett's tight end from college. Kenny Pickett's senior year tight end. And I also saw Marisi got cut by the Texans. And that was Kenny Pickett's center. So look out for him. Maybe we pick him up for practice squad or something. Abanikanda was the guy, though, bro. Abanikanda was the guy. I was hoping the Jets were going to cut him. It doesn't look like that. He was at practice today. I didn't get to see their final roster cuts, but it looked like he was safe. I was hoping to pick up Abanikanda and cut McFarland. OJ Howard got cut. See, we don't need him. We're good. We got Darnell. We got Muth. We got Connor Hayward. Anyone else? Desmond King's one I think we're going to have to keep an eye out for. I don't think there's any other guys out there that's worth going out of our way to bring in. But yeah, I think that's it, man. Big shout out to you guys for stopping by. Always makes it fun. Always makes it a better time. We got some engagement in the chat, chopping it up back and forth. But I think the Steelers roster is top quality material. The only one that threw me off really was, I feel like I had my predictions pretty good. The only one that threw me off was us keeping Dylan Cook and letting Kwiatkowski and Muse go. That's the thing that threw me off. But again, we still have Braden Mann out there for a trade, so who knows what happens with Muse and Kwiatkowski. But let me close out this show, man. Shout out to you guys again. Shout out to Bleach Report. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Here we go, Steelers, and the con artist strikes again. Now we just got to wait for the regular season. Now we're like 2 weeks away, so I'm excited. September 10th, going up against the 49ers, and Pickett will show why he is the best quarterback of that draft class over Brock Purdy. But stay chilling, guys. And peace out.